$119,650. I've been looking at comments, looking at social media, reading different news articles, gauging the sentiment of the overall Bitcoin world, the crypto world. And a lot of people think they have missed the Bitcoin train. A lot of people think they have missed the Bitcoin boat. So in this video, I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do starting today, starting right after this video, if you want to play catch up with Bitcoin and if you want to get in the game so you won't get left behind. Stay tuned. Thing that you can do. This is the very first thing that you can do. You can do this right after you finish watching this video. So what I'm looking at right now is a chart of Bitcoin's history from the beginning to now. And what do you notice when you look at this chart? It's basically up and to the right. So we do have some ebbs and flows, some peaks and valleys, some peaks and troughs and things like that. But for the most part, if wherever you would have bought on this chart, unless you bought, somewhere over here at the top, you should be in profit. So my thesis, if you don't know my thesis about fiat currencies and the debasement of the dollar and this and that, I think Bitcoin is going to continue to go up. So the first thing that you can do is buy Bitcoin. Don't worry about the price. Don't worry about what's going on a day to day. Don't worry about if you think you've missed the train. After this video, make sure you like and subscribe. After you watch the duration of this video, I want you to go and buy Bitcoin and just don't even think about it. Just go buy some Bitcoin. That's the first thing that I want you to do. Number 2, this is not financial advice. Number 2 is set up recurring payments. They can be automatic. They can be a reminder in your phone. Or if you just know every paycheck, I'm going to put $25 here. I'm going to put $50 here. Whatever you can allocate to Bitcoin, every check, every week, every Thursday, every Friday, whatever you want to do, I want you to allocate a specific amount, or if you could do more, if you could do less, just a specific time that you buy Bitcoin. Get some skin in the game, especially if you don't own crypto. Just get some skin in the game. I want you to do some homework too. I definitely want you to do your homework. But number 1, I want you to get off this internet and go buy well, you can't get off the internet, but after you finish watching this video, go buy Bitcoin. Number 2, I want you to set up a recurring thing or a recurring payment, or whenever you get some money that you want to allocate to the market, I want you to buy Bitcoin then, and don't even think about it. So that's the 2 things that I want you to do. Now, number 3 is when we get a little bit more technical. This is when we really need to go to the charts. So first and foremost, I want to talk about where liquidity lies. So we'll come back to the heat map. I want to look at this volume profile, my volume profiles right now. And the volume profiles tell me a story. They tell me where exactly is the most volume. Where exactly is Bitcoin traded the most? Where was it traded the most? Where was the most volume traded? So you look at the volume nodes. You see the yellow poking out. I see right here. This is really standing out to me, and this is coming in at about the bottom side, coming in at about 117,000, top side being at about 118,000. So we got a little bit of ways to come down if it does want to come and touch this and grab some of this liquidity here. And we'll look at the liquidation heat map to confirm that is exactly, or that is an area that we want to continue to look at. Right where we are right now is where we have some liquidity, and like I said, if we lose that, we'll come down to about 118. But if we really lose that, I'm looking at that we'll say really like 116.5 to 117.5 is an area of interest that I would look for some sort of a bounce, some sort of a strong bounce. And these volume profiles act as magnets. So this is what I will be looking at. And then, if we start to lose this, we have nothing but space and opportunity. We have a little node here coming in at about 116, but then the gaps get a little bit bigger as we go further down, coming down to our all-time high from last week at around 112K. So let's go to the liquidation heat map, and this will tell me another story. So on this liquidation heat map, how you tell where the liquidity is, this is coinank.com, coinank.com. I think that's how you pronounce it. So I usually do the 3-day. The 3-day tells me, or gives me, a good glimpse and a good story of where liquidity is. So this is where liquidity is lying. So this tells me, when I click over it, this tells me where the liquidation leverage, the leveraged liquidation levels will be. So the market makers are incentivized to come back to these levels to grab this liquidity, to get some of these leverage longs out of here. So if it comes out and it comes down they get all of that liquidity coming down here. So that is one thing that I look at when I look at where Bitcoin could go. Even when we get these pumps and we leave liquidity on the table, these very high magna colored, this very hot magna colored area right here, which is coming in at around 116.5 to 117, just like we saw over on our volume profile. So that's a very big area of interest that I will look for. And this is for traders and investors alike if you want to start to grab Bitcoin as it goes down. So this is the third thing that you could do. You buy as it goes down. If you want to get more technical, the safest ways to do it is just to buy it, whenever you can, and just don't even worry about it. Don't think about it. And just forget about it. People like me, sometimes I do that, but for the most part, I'm looking for the best entries. I'm looking for the best possible entries that I can get. So I'm looking at the charts. I'm looking at where liquidity lies, and then I'll, I can stack some buys down there. So like I said, let's go back to the liquidation heat map. I'll be looking at 116.5 to 117.5 thousand dollars for not only a trade, but to pick up some Bitcoin, pick up a little bit of Bitcoin. So if I got a nice chunk of money, let's say I got $1,000 and I don't want to just buy it, I can do the three things. I can buy some Bitcoin right now. I can put some orders in to buy every Friday or every Thursday or something like that. And then thirdly, like I'm saying, I can buy when the price starts to come down and try to get better entry. So I think Bitcoin, let's actually go to the chart now. I think Bitcoin is going to rip higher going later, going later into the year. I don't think this is going to be something that's just a sustainable run going into 200, 250K. We do have some things that we do need to look at when it comes to the fundamentals. I wanted to talk about technicals first because, technicals rule in my world. I think technicals outrule fundamentals, but we do have to keep in mind about these tariffs. So if we think back to what happened during the Liberation Day at the beginning of April, this is when we got that major sell-off in Bitcoin. We got the major sell-off coming down after a few weeks. It might have been a few days. We can look in a second. But after we got this Liberation Day, market started to crash and we came down. Yeah, it was a couple weeks. We came down to 74K and then we used that as support. And then we started to go up. But the main point that I'm trying to make is this is still lingering. This is still in the works. So Trump said that August 1st, this is it. He's not extending the deadline anymore. He's not giving people other chances. If you don't make a deal by August 1st, these high tariffs will be implemented upon these different countries. So I think the markets are pricing in that he's either going to bring these tariffs down or cancel them or not tariff these countries as much as he's saying. So the market is being very optimistic right now. Let's just say he does come out with these tariffs. They do stand on August 1st, and they are as high as he said they're going to be. I think we're going to get a nice little sell-off. So this goes into my thesis of going into, let's go to the chart now, going into a bearish end of August and September, giving us another opportunity to buy some Bitcoin, buy some crypto, going into end of Q3, going into Q4, where I think we're going to get a massive run up. And I could be wrong. Like I said, I could be wrong, but I think that's my base case, just going off historical data and going off, Trump and these tariffs. Like these tariffs, the markets, like I said, are very optimistic. TACO, I forgot what it stands for. Matter of fact, I want to know what it stands for. So TACO is an acronym, stands for Trump always chickens out. Trump always chickens out. So this is what the markets are betting on again. They're thinking, okay, August 1st is going to come around. He's going to chicken out again. He's not going to keep these tariffs or keep them high or keep them at all. He may just kick the can down the road one more time. So this is what markets are pricing in. So what if that doesn't happen? What if Trump, and I think like he's probably reading these headlines and he probably has something that he wants to prove. So what if he does come out and implement all these tariffs and all these high percentages to all these different countries? I think there's going to be a sell-off. So I think that is something that we have to keep in the back of our head. We can't just rely on it wholeheartedly thinking it's going to be a pullback and it's going to be a sharp major pullback when that does happen at August 1st. But I think that would align with my thesis going into September, August and September being pretty bearish. And then, well, not super bearish, but September is usually, like I keep saying, a bearish month for markets. And then this is just a catalyst to catapult us or push us into that bearish momentum. So I think that may happen. And if it does happen, I think that'll be the final chance for you to get some cheap crypto, some cheaper Bitcoin. Who knows how high it could go before we do get some sort of a rollover. If we do get some sort of a pullback, some bearish things happening for a few weeks or a couple months or something like that. So we just got to be prepared, and we got to be diligent in stacking Bitcoin. We have to stack Bitcoin. So like I said, number one, the first thing that you can do for Bitcoin is to, after you watch this video, like, subscribe, buy some Bitcoin. I don't care how much you buy. This is not financial advice. I don't care how much you buy. I don't care, the amount, like I'm saying, but just buy some Bitcoin. Get some skin in the game. If you already got some Bitcoin, buy some more Bitcoin right after this video. The second thing you can do is make sure you buy Bitcoin consistently. I can't say every check. I don't know everybody's financial status. I can't tell you to buy every week. Whenever you can, just buy Bitcoin. Not even checking price. Just, hey, I got an extra $100. I'm not gonna buy those shoes. I'll buy some Bitcoin. Just keep buying Bitcoin. Get in the habit of buying Bitcoin, because obviously, as you see, Bitcoin is just up and to the right. You have to look at the chart. Like, this is the beginning. Bitcoin is up and to the right, and I think it's going to continue to be up and to the right, in the future. And you want to protect your purchasing power, and Bitcoin has been protecting your purchasing power over the duration of its genesis. So that's the second thing I want you to do, is just make sure you consistently keep buying Bitcoin. And third, we looked at some levels. We talked about some different levels. I think if we lose 112, then we can potentially go back down to 100,000. So we don't want to lose 112 unless you want to buy some Bitcoin at a very much discounted price. But for the most part, we're going to take those few levels and we're going to try to get it from there. So yeah, that's pretty much what I wanted to say. Those three things. It's not really too much that you can do. I feel like I don't have enough Bitcoin. I will say that. So mine is, I do all three. Sometimes I just randomly buy Bitcoin. Sometimes I set up recurring payments or just buy some Bitcoin. And then most importantly, in my case, I technically trade and I technically look for areas to buy Bitcoin during pullbacks and things like that. So that's just my 2 cents. But appreciate everybody for watching, man. This is FD White. Make sure you like, subscribe. I will have some bangers coming out this week. So make sure you guys lock in, stay tuned. I'm trading over on Bitunix and BYDFI. I have some very, very, very good incentives to go over there and trade. Links will be in the description below. And yeah, man, Bitcoin is running. If you want to pray for a pullback, but I think Bitcoin's going to $1 million eventually. I'm not going to say a time frame, but in the grand scheme of things, I think this is still a pretty good price to buy Bitcoin, and I think this is a way to protect your purchasing power in the long run. So that's pretty much my analysis and thesis about it. So I'll talk to you in a minute. Peace.